Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namaskrutyam.
Naran Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirayat.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Nashtaprayasu Bhadresu.
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke.
Bhagavati Uttam Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, titled Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation. And today's verse is verse number 56. Sarva karmani api sada
Har karmani api sada.
kurvano madvyasa spraya
Urvano madvyapashrayah.
mat prasadat avnoti
Mad prasadat apnoti.
saswatam padamavyayam.
Saswatam padam avyayam.
Sarva karmani api sada
Sarva karmani api sada.
kurvano madvyapasraya
Urvano madvyapashrayah.
mat prasadat avapnoti
Mad prasadat apnoti.
saswatam padamavyayam.
Saswatam padam avyayam.
Sarva karmani api sada
Sarva karmani api sada.
kurvano madvyapasraya
Urvano madvyapashrayah.
mat prasadat avapnoti
Mad prasadat avapnoti.
saswatam padam avyayam.
Saswatam padam avyayam.
Anyone would like to read?
Sarva karmani api sada.
Sarva karmani api sada
Kurvano madvyapashrayah.
kurvano madvyapasraya
Mad prasadat avapnoti.
mat prasadat avapnoti
Saswatam padam avyayam.
saswatam padam avyayam.
Sarva karmani sada
Sarva
Sarva
karmani
karmani
api
api
sada.
sada
kurvano mad vyapasrayah
Kurvano
kurvano
madvyapashrayah.
madvyapasraya
mat prasadad avapnoti
Mad
mat
prasadat
prasadat
avapnoti.
avapnoti
saswatam padam avyayam.
Saswatam
saswatam
padam
padam
avyayam.
avyayam.
सर्वकर्माणि अपि सदा
Sarva
Sarva
karmani
karmani
api
api
sada.
sada
कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः
Kurvano
kurvano
madvyapashrayah.
madvyapasraya
मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति
Mad
mat
prasadat
prasadat
avapnoti.
avapnoti
शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्
Saswatam
saswatam
padam
padam
avyayam.
avyayam. Thank you very much. Word by word meaning. Sarva all.
Sarva all.
Karmani activities.
Karmani activities.
Api although.
Api although.
Sada always.
Sada always.
Kurvana
Kurvana
performing.
performing.
Mad vyapashraya
Mad vyapashraya
under my protection.
under my protection.
Mat prasadat
Mad prasadat
by my mercy.
by my mercy.
Avapnoti
Avapnoti
one achieves.
one achieve.
Saswatam
Saswatam
the eternal.
the eternal.
Padam
Padam
abode.
abode.
Avyayam
Avyayam
imperishable.
imperishable.
Translation by Divyan Kesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Though engaged in all kind of activities,
Though engaged in all kinds of activities,
my pure devotee
my pure devotee
under my protection
under my protection
reaches the eternal
reaches the eternal
and imperishable
and imperishable
abode by my grace.
abode by my grace.
Anyone would like to read the purport by His Divine Grace?
The word Madhyapashraya means under the protection of the Supreme Lord. To be free from material contamination, a pure devotee acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his representative, the spiritual master. There is no time limitation for a pure devotee. He is always 24 hours a day, 100% engaged in activity under direction of the Supreme Lord. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Krishna consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode or Krishna Lok. He is guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it. In that supreme abode, there is no change. Everything is eternal, imperishable, and full of knowledge.
Thank you very much. Let's all chant together. Agyana timirandasya jnananjana
ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य
shalakaya
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुमृतं मेन
चक्षुरुमितं
तस्मै
येन
श्रीगुरवे
तस्मै
नमः
श्रीगुरवे नमः
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
येन भूतले
स्थापितं येन
स्वयं
भूतले
रूपकदा
स्वयं
मह्यं
स्वयं
ददाति
रूपकथामयं ददाति
स्वापदान्तिकं
वन्देऽहं
वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो
श्रीगुरुयुतपादकमलं
श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं
श्रीगुरुवैष्णवं
वैष्णवांश्च
श्रीरूपं
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 साग्रजातं
साग्रजातं
साग्ररघुनाथान्वितं
रघुनाथान्वितं
तं
तं
सजीवं
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 साद्वैतं
साद्वैतं
सावधूतं
सावधूतं परिजनसहितं
चैतन्यदेवं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
राधाकृष्णपादान्
श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान्
ललिता
सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखाभितं
हे कृष्णा
श्रीकृष्ण
करुणा
करुणा
सिन्धो
सिन्धु
बन्धो
दीनबन्धो
दीनबन्धो
जगत्पते
जगत्पते
गोपेश
गोपेश
गोपीश
गोपिकान्त
कान्त
राधाकान्त
नमोस्तुते
नमोऽस्तुते
नमोऽस्तुते
तप्तकाञ्चन
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 गौराङ्गी
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 राधा
राधे
वृन्दावनेश्वरी
वृन्दावनेश्वरि
वृन्दावनेश्वरि
सभानुसुते देवी
शोभानुसुते देवी
प्रणमामि
प्रणमामि
हरिप्रिये
हरिप्रिये
हरे प्रिये
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
कृपा
कृपा
सिन्धुभ्य
सिन्धुभ्येव च
एव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
दीनं
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमः
नमो नमः
जय
जय
श्रीकृष्ण
श्री कृष्ण
चैतन्य
श्रीकृष्ण
प्रभु
चैतन्य
चैतन्य प्रभु
नित्यानन्द
प्रभु
श्री अद्वैत
नित्यानंद
श्री
गदाधर
अद्वैत गदाधर
श्रीवासादि
श्रीवासादि
गौरभक्तवृन्द
गौरभक्तवृन्द
हरे कृष्ण
हरे
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 कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
राम
हरे
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 राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
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 राम राम
नीलाचल
राम
निवासाय
हरे
नित्याय
हरे
परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha. And here, Lord Krishna is explaining the qualities of a pure devotee in the pretext of a pure devotee. So, so far, Lord Krishna has been explaining uh, Karma Yoga, Gyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and then following up on Bhakti Yoga. But from now onwards, from 56 onwards, for the next 20 verses, all the way till around 70s, 73 or 74, Lord is going to explain the traits of a pure devotee and why it is important, why Bhakti is special and Bhakti doesn't need any qualification. We are going to discuss today. So, what Lord is just to summarize from where we left off. So, Lord talks about different modes. He talks about action as for different modes, knowledge uh, in different modes, karma or nature of action in different modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, karta, the doer, the buddhi, intelligence, driti, uh, fruits of happiness. So, if the 18th chapter is gradually. So that's why we're taking every verse, unlike the prior chapters where you used to take the top 108 verses from various different scriptures with reference to Bhagavad Gita as to what are the top 108 verses. That's how we used to do from 1 to 17. But on 18th, we are doing every verse because this is very important and Lord is concluding the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So, and then Lord talks about distinction of various different varnashram paths, and goes detail into Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras, and why individual work is important and why worshipping the Lord is important. Not work is worship, but worship is the essence, not work. And then Lord talks about duties prescribed, and gradually uh, Lord talks about material nature should not be even if our path in our varnashram dharma in such a direction, e- even if some other dharma is more appealing, why a person should not leave the fundamental uh, dharma of even if there is material nature involvement. And then how Lord is talking about purifying by self-control and detachment, and why and what is the traits of someone who is elevating to a Brahman platform, and then how we can purify by intelligence, then how we are purified by habits of body, mind, and words. BMW, we spoke something about 3-4 weeks back in the prior BVs, and how we can purify by removal of toxins, and what are the traits of someone who reaches the Brahmabhuta stage, and why only a devotee can understand. And here, Lord is power packing his message by saying bhakti doesn't have to depend on karma and jnana. And that's what we're going to discuss. So, what Lord is saying here, let's say, sarva karmani apisada. That means all the activities what you are performing, kurvana mad vyapashraya, ashraya. So, Lord is using the word vyapashraya, ashraya, that under my protection, under my mercy. If you end up doing something identified as something which you have totally surrendered, or you have totally come under the blessings or under the grace of the Lord, then mat prasadat apnoti saswatam padavya. So that's what we are going to focus today. The Lord is saying, if you want to do something, you don't have to rely on karma. You don't have to rely on jnana. You can directly do bhakti. Let's try to explain what that means. This is a very loaded statement, and not many can understand that. So, sarva karmani apisada means, so while doing different kinds of karma, kurbana madhavapasraya, that means by taking shelter of me, or eventually, Lord is going to say, surrender unto me. So, by surrendering and taking shelter of me, whatever you end up doing, and how you're doing, mad prasada apnoti, as a prasad of myself, as a remnant of myself, as a mercy of myself, Lord is saying. Then, if you do that, then sasutam padavyam, that one attains eternal distinction. So here, this is a vital segue from karma and jnana. The example given is when you take shower. When you take shower, you purify yourself. Then, if you go to office, that means that shower you're taking is surrender to your karma, is surrender not to the Lord. But if you take shower at 4 o'clock because you want to go to Mangalarati, then that means that shower you are taking is for Lord's pleasure, is to get Lord's mercy. So, a pure devotee, when he takes or does or acts anything, that is with the intent of satisfying the Supreme. That is bhakti. But if you can do bhakti directly, like how a brahmacharis, sannyasis end up doing, they get up at 3:30, take shower, does chanting, and then eventually go to Mangalarti. For them, each activity is done to gain grace or blessings of the Lord. But what we often, the karmis, the varnashram dharmis, we do is we follow the path of karma, then then we chant, then we do our activity. So there is a distinction. So let's not um, simplify this difference. So Lord is really emphasizing the importance of bypassing that level of devotees, and how a devotee transcend from a devotee to a pure devotee. So here, as you can see, bhakti doesn't need karma like all of us end up doing. Most of the karmis are attending. Bhakti can transcend by not just offering grains, pushpam, phalam, toyo, water to Lord. Bhakti can happen for every activity in our day to day life. So there is a subtle difference how a pure devotee sees the action of the Lord and a devotee sees the action of the Lord. A devotee may be seeing the action of the Lord through the lens of karma or jnana, but a pure devotee of the Lord sees every action of the Lord as a remnant, as mad vyapashraya. And how? Mat prasadat. Prasadat means everything is Lord's remnant. You offer something that is bhoga. Bhoga means for enjoyment. For whose enjoyment? Lord's enjoyment. After you put a tulsi and do the mantras and offer, that bhoga becomes a remnant, prasada. Mat prasadat avnoti. That means everything a pure devotee does is for the pleasure of the Lord, not pleasure of our managers, not pleasure of our companies, and so on and so forth. So there is a distinction. So that is one thing we have to recognize. So whenever this is a classic example of why good things happen to bad people and why bad things happen to good people, and why a devotee takes the outcome of these things in the best possible way. So it's not as if bad thing will not happen to devotees, only good thing will happen to devotees. It is not as if only bad things happens to karmis. Good things also happens to karmis. But when a good thing happens to karmis, they get excited. They think they have done some pious credits and they exalt in satisfaction. And at that time, when this happens, when they get a good job or promotion or whatever, they end up investing in the Lord. But when the same karmis get some bad news, their behavior towards the Lord totally changes. However, when a bhakta or a pure devotee gets some bad news, he is inherently sad, but fundamentally he is strong. Why he is strong? Because he recognizes that this is a remnant of the Lord. This is a prasada of the Lord. This is a grace of the Lord. Whenever you are taking a mortgage, when you end up paying monthly your mortgage, what you are doing? When you're paying the mortgage, you feel sad because it's going away from your paycheck. But actually, you are clearing the mortgage and from the principal. So indirectly, whenever someone is disturbed, someone takes pain, someone is in distress, he or she, if he's a pure devotee, will feel happy. That means let Lord give me suffering because I'm basically clearing my mortgage. Because eventually the house will be mine after the mortgage is paid. So that's exactly how a pure devotee sees it. And the classic example here is who? Mother Kunti, right? So this is not a person, this is a mindset. This pure devotee is a mindset. It, what is the traits of a pure devotee here based on this verse? Constant devotion. He's always engaged in actions, but performs with the mindset of complete surrender and dedication to Krishna. He has full trust in divine protection, like Prahlad Maharaj. Rather than these kind of people, make no mistake, they don't think we shouldn't think they don't do their job. They do their job, but their full reliability is on Krishna, like Draupadi Maharani. Full reliability, full surrender, full faith in Lord's mercy. Mat prasadat. It's very easily said than done, but Krishna is emphasizing it by saying Mat prasadat. And these kind of devotees, what are the other traits? They have inner motivation, not outward appearance of chanting and going in dhoti. They have full faith the Lord is there for us. It's not defined by the social value or profession. The inner strength is there. That's why devotees are very strong internally. Sometimes you see in your relative circle, you'd have or other face people falling apart, their crisis, they're fallen, they are crestfallen, they mind, they cry. Devotees also feel the hurt, but they feel confident that this is a remnant of the Lord. Whether the prasad is paneer butter masala or simple khichdi, the devotee when he partakes it, he he or she does it with full enthusiasm. It's not as if he's unhappy taking khichdi and very excited taking paneer butter masala as the and as this devotee doesn't expect anything, he's always humble. So this humility, freedom from material contamination, inner motivation, not outward appearance, trust in Krishna, constant devotion are the traits of this. And who better to epitomize this is Mother Kunti. Mother Kunti, whenever she will get some happiness, she gets worried actually. If Mother Kunti has been so much up and down with her life, with the husband dying at a very early age and then getting 5 kids at a time, going through the motion of sent to um, the forest and then incognito, and their houses were burnt, the kids were in trouble, the grandkids were killed. I mean, our life is much better than Mother Kunti. And whenever Mother Kunti would gain happiness, she gets worried. She asks Krishna to give her sadness so that she'll always remember Krishna. So he's always seeking Madhyasha Vyapashraya. That means she's always seeking Ashraya from the Lord. Always trying to gain shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Never trying to enjoy the result. Trying to always shun from the attachment to the results. So if you look at Mother Kunti's life, is a perfect case study of supreme surrender, and 18.56, which we are discussing today, is a complete inspiration, and Mother Kunti epitomizes this. If you want to remember 18.56, remember Mother Kunti. Everything for the service of the Lord, everything in remembrance of the Lord, everything. So this is a higher consciousness. A person cannot seek sadness because he or she wants to keep his or her faith in the Lord. This can only be felt by a devotee who doesn't get perturbed by happiness or sadness. They don't get excited by happiness. They don't feel morose in sadness. Because whether it is paneer butter masala or khichdi, it's the prasad of the Lord. And our ability to not distinguish between prasad of the Lord makes a devotee stronger in every step of the way. So we can go on and on. This is a beautiful subject matter. This is a very top notch. All this next 20 verses are really focused on bhakti. So please internalize this, and if you can apply 1% of it in your life will be perfect. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as per thank you so much for the class. So, one thing I understand is, so devotee should not get disturbed either, like dualities. So, as you said. So, but sometimes what happens as a sadhaka, when there is a failure or negative result happens, we usually introspect what has really gone wrong from my side. Like, is it I'm not in a right sadachar or like a right way? We make so much of analysis. Is that right, or should or can we supposed to do it or not, Prabhuji? That's what is. Am I clear, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes. Wonderful question. Wonderful item to discuss in today's setting. And that's why we have this closer knit Bhakti Vriksha. So what happens is there are two kinds of things which is happening whenever we meet with a failure. First is materially things didn't go well, and and uh, post-mortem analysis paralysis to better it next time so that you don't make the same mistake again. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. However, what happens is whenever bad things hits us, it makes us so morose, it makes us so hurtful that sometimes we lose the general consciousness. What then we try to be revengeful. We try to uh, some people they take to alcohol. Some people take to drugs. So Krishna consciousness is supposed to make us stronger, make us fully surrender. So materially speaking, we should definitely try to not make the same mistake again, which is exactly what your part of the question was. But it should make us so strong, and it should make us feel insulated from the outcome of that event, so much so that next time, even if after your full try this occurs, you do not become repulsive, you do not become intimidating, you do not become. So, Krishna consciousness is a practice. It's not as if everything around us is great, even in temples, for example. Temples, but our ability to stay in the process, in the system, to gradually gain that patience, gain that humility, goes a long way in making us a stronger human being. Sometimes earlier, when we were getting irked or angered or hurt, now if you see in 5 years into Krishna consciousness, 10 years into Krishna consciousness, by refining them, by addressing it, by ignoring sometimes, by doing the right thing, we do not take to the kind of fighting once upon a time without the Krishna consciousness we used to. So the intent of Krishna consciousness has to gain these traits we discussed today in our lives in a natural manner so that we don't get too enamored by the sadness in that situation. However, we should not repeat the same mistake again and again. That's why you have the analysis angle, which we all should do. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. It's more like it's a gradual thing we
Mm,
can learn, and it has to go with the patience, not like enthusiasm plus patience should go.
absolutely. It's
Thank you.
a it's definitely a gradual thing. And over a period of time, when you spend in Krishna consciousness, we realize we have. If you compare, you can always compare what you were, where you are 5 years ago or 10 years ago before joining Krishna consciousness, or 20 years ago for that matter. Then you would definitely agree that Krishna consciousness has made us calmer, better. We have a better perspective, seeing through the eyes of the Supreme, and through his devotees, and it has definitely made us a better persons in our life. If we haven't met Krishna consciousness on a Friday evening, we would be going to potluck parties and so many other material engagements. But on a Friday evening, there are few, but that's why it's special that we are talking about the the tales of Lord and what Lord has said in the battle of Kurukshetra, and we have chosen not to get entangled in the material benefit. So that clearly shows that we have made a choice, and that's a great choice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad
Hare
pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Mm,
Krishna.
To Mataji's question, in addition to what Prabhuji has spoken, Mataji, uh, one thing I'll tell from my practical realizations, Mataji, as Prabhu has mentioned, how we realize before Krishna consciousness and in when we are into Krishna consciousness. So when a negative thing happens, the first realization I got is, Mataji, that for us, as Prabhuji told, materially, for us it is a relative concept of good and bad, Mataji. It's we are trying to have a what we call Dvaita, I think, right? Two, we are trying to have good and bad. But in the long run, what Krishna is telling and trying to teach us is that, and as this verse says, that in either case we should not try to analyze that result of that. We have to analyze basically the evolution of our consciousness with that experience, whether that experience is a, for now it may feel negative, but in the long run, when you think, Mataji, it will definitely be positive, because Krishna, like our kid, Mataji, even if we slap our kid or we reprimand or we chastise our kid, we don't do it with a purpose. We do with a long-term motive, right, Mataji? That okay, they should learn from this. So, in similarly, Krishna is trying to teach us basically through some that okay, if we don't understand in one, he'll make us understand in two different three perspectives. But ultimately, since you are practicing the nama, Mataji, it will ultimately be revealed to you that this is the not the way it is planned by me for you. So that is one perspective you can see, Mataji, that um, you that for now it may appear bad relatively, but in the long term it will not be bad. It is. So what is happening in this why these processes happen to us is, as Kunti's example Prabhuji has given, we are evolving our consciousness, Mataji. Basically we are trying to, as like in engineering, we especially in mechanical, Mataji, why are the tools prepared differently? Tools means hammer and all. These are hardened, if you know, Mataji. They are hardened before. First they are softened and then we harden it, so that when we blow with a hammer or something, the hammer doesn't break, right? So similarly, Krishna is making us making us what I call is insensitive to these dualities, Mataji. That is the fundamental principle. I got the realization. Yes, at that point of time, we suffer. So another point is, as we progress towards, as we progress more deeper and deeper connection with Krishna, our pain will be reduced. Our suffering and pain might be there, Mataji, but our suffering will be reduced because of we are getting hardened by the Krishna consciousness. So will definitely have pain. If something happens, it will have
Hare
pain.
Krishna,
But
Hare Krishna.
we will not get morose or will not get dejected, as Prabhuji told. we won't go on to the negative track of that. We will say, okay, this is Krishna's will. Let me. I won't say we are that as Kunti that let me honor this, but we'll say, okay, this is Krishna's plan. Let's endure it to the extent we can. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very
Very
nice,
good,
very nice,
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
very nice, Prabhu, very nice. Thank you. The example of iron, which is molten and then
Yeah.
hardened, so that the molecules are tight.
Right.
So that's a great example. And
So we become soft during that is what molten when negative thing happens we become soft. Oh, why Krishna is doing this to me? We get soft, Mataji. But as the time is another greatest solution for us, Mataji. As the time progresses, as we keep interacting with the Krishna, like how the iron interacts with the air and it becomes hard oxides and all of that. Similarly, we also become attuned to these, Mataji, and see Krishna's plan in everything.
very nice, very nice,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Hare
Any other
Krishna.
comments? Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Great conversation. Pratap Prabhu, you want to say something? You're
Yeah,
unmuted.
Prabhuji, not on the exact class, but just wanted to. I mean, I have this question like, how much time does it take to chant 16 rounds completely?
Mhm.
So because I'm struggling. My rounds are only 5 right now, so wanted to make it 16. So how to do that?
Definitely, good question. So, Prabhu, one mala of 108 takes 7 to 8 minutes. So, if you give close to um, 1.5 hours, you're looking at around um, 1.5 hour to 1 hour 40 minutes. If you give, you can definitely complete your rounds. It is better to complete it in the morning when our minds are not distracted, going here and there. As much as possible, if we can do more and more in the morning, we can complete. And then the remaining, unless we get to a practice, until we get to a practice, we can do the remaining at a later point in time. Uh, but what is happening is once you start doing it, it
Mhm.
becomes a habit in the sense that like going to office has become a habit, having your lunch has become a habit, taking shower has become a habit. And this was not a habit before we joined, but actually this will become a habit. And you will start to feel that that's part of your system or part of your process. And then it will not be difficult at all. And the distraction from chanting has to do with when you mix or material engagements are significant and cravings are there. But when you stay in the confines of devotees, the scriptures, prasadam, then you will realize that it's not. But when you get associated with non-devotees, your quality of chanting, your timeliness of chanting goes down. So how effectively we can make the chanting happen is precisely based on the consciousness. If Krishna doesn't want to be chanted from the tongue, it is said that when you chant, Krishna dances on your tongue. So if
Mhm.
Krishna choose not to dance on your tongue, he won't. You won't be able to chant. So it's a consciousness behind the scene. As gradually you chant, you'll arouse that consciousness within you. But this is definitely a proven process. And morning, if you can do it, it's a matter of giving, 100 minutes a day for completing your 16 rounds typically.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Also, Prabhuji, again, some in addition to Prabhuji, what some practical things. First of all, Prabhuji, um, whether you do 3, 4, 1, 2, doesn't matter initially, Prabhuji. You just pray to Krishna that I want to increase my association with you. The prayer, Prabhuji. That prayer is most important. The count is not important. That let me spend more time with you. That is the philosophical aspect of it, Prabhuji. That once you start praying for it, or somebody should pray for you, like Mataji or someone, whoever. Example, I'm telling somebody prays for you, Prabhuji, or you pray for yourself that Krishna, I want to associate with you. That goes a long way, Prabhuji. The rounds will automatically, exponentially. Krishna creates time, Prabhuji. This is my personal experience I'm sharing. He creates time for you, Prabhuji. How does he will not come and make you sit, but he makes time such that you feel okay. Why not I utilize this additional time that has been provided to me in associating? Why that time has been created? Because you desired. So the desire, Prabhuji, is what will propel your rounds or the association. Prabhupada has given 16 rounds because at least we should spend that much time. The count is not the important one, but he expected us to do. Otherwise, we may try to spend eight, we do 8 rounds and think we are good, because then the association will not be there much, Prabhuji.
Got it.
So that desire is the most important, Prabhuji. Rest, Krishna will handle it. He will give you the time to increase. And also, Prabhuji, this all our acharyas has told, not my personal experience. The ruchi, we should have the ruchi basically, Prabhuji. The ruchi, if you start tasting the two things, Prabhuji, because we develop taste for it. So the taste should be, so you desire for the taste also, Prabhuji, that let me not mechanically do, but let me get the taste of that. Then it will be like a what we call catalyst, Prabhuji. It will be a catalyst in your japa, and as Prabhuji told, it will become a norm. Then it is not a additional effort you are taking. You're not making an additional effort to do these things. It becomes a norm of your life, and it's like the taste. So that is, I wanted to add these 2 points,
Mhm.
Prabhuji.
And also, Prabhu, thank you for the comment, Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhu. That there are also groups which log in at 5:30 to Zoom, and they all chant together. That's one way to have that attention span. That's one thing. The other thing, some devotees say Krishna stays near the heart. So if you hold your chanting bag near, these are all external reasons people have given. One devotee from our temple who came, is a brahmachari. You hold your um, chanting bag close to your heart and focus on chanting. There is japa workshops by Prabhupada disciples, which have some techniques which they profess. So there is no end to it, Prabhu. It's a ruchi, and how you built it. You may have your own inventive way to love chanting. There is japa workshop holding the beat nearby, and whenever you feeling sleepy and you chant, you may yawn. So probably avoid chanting when you are feeling sleepy. So a lot of great techniques are there. Attending a japa workshop is one way to um, have some techniques built into your repertoire. So that these are some of the aspects for join a chanting Zoom session at 5:30 if you have some friendly groups. There are groups available. Uh, if during the COVID time when all of us were working from home, that was becoming very popular. In our temple, we used to all wake up at 5, and at the time we couldn't go out. So I used to lead for 30 minutes, somebody else will lead for 30 minutes, and so on and so forth, so that everybody is attentive. But now people have to go, though that's fallen apart. But all I'm saying is there are different techniques, and I'm sure you'll gain your quality of chanting will increase when you learn these techniques by yourself.
Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you for your suggestion. Hema Prabhu, you and Bhakti Ratnakar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah.
Any other
Bhakti
comments?
Ratnakar Prabhu, Prabhuji, whether you are back to New Jersey, we are missing you at temple. Means whenever I go, I
No,
don't see.
Prabhuji, my project is at least for a year now, for now.
Okay,
So I should be back somewhere August of next year, Prabhuji.
got it. Okay.
Unless Krishna has a different plan and I get something in between and I can leave this job.
No way. Whatever best for you, Prabhuji, let that happen.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Mataji, that he has a plan, so
Yeah.
let's not brood about the situation.
Yeah, we hope to get your association in New Jersey
Sure,
soon.
Prabhuji. I'm missing all, especially Pratap Prabhu and Mataji's, whoever are. Did you guys
Yes.
go to the Narsimha Mahavatar Narsimha movie?
Yes, Prabhuji, we saw that movie. It was brilliant, actually.
No,
I
with
mean,
our
for kids.
congregation, or did you see on your
No,
own?
I saw before. Actually, I watched that movie. Then I sent it to Hema Prabhu saying that Prabhuji, can this movie be arranged by temple? Then Hema
Oh,
Prabhu said, yes, some discussion is going on.
cool,
Before
very cool. Yeah,
NJ, our temple organized, I watched that, Prabhuji.
right. Because everything, actually, probably the emphasis of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's is the congregation and the association, Prabhuji. It's all the congregation and association. So we will enjoy our joy and bliss becomes multiplied when we have that association and congregation, Prabhuji. So
True,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
I'm missing that. That's what I'm trying to tell Prabhuji. Point
Yeah.
is, yeah, I'm definitely missing that bliss and the joy. Like the Janmashtami was just a temple visit for me. It was nothing. Earlier, the service and everything used to be very
Mm,
joyous, Prabhuji.
yeah. Yeah. So very nice, Prabhu. I mean, service is a thing. You realize when the service is taken away by a situation or whatever, and you really appreciate. So whenever you get an opportunity, just serve. Nobody knows, I mean, all I'm saying, Prabhu, we want you to be back, but I know your separation, your feeling of separation from service, which you may be undergoing now. But
Yes,
I,
Prabhuji, definitely I feel like we have, because Prabhuji, service, as you have told, service purifies us a lot, Prabhuji, a lot. Whatever service, that's why Prabhupada has emphasized on devotional service. He didn't emphasize on meditation or doing only kirtan for 24 hours. Or no, he told just do service, Prabhuji. All our Maharajas tell that. Also, Prabhuji, one point I want to tell today or yesterday only, I read Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj has a quote. He has written a quote that it seems Krishna is always behind us. Um, like as Prabhuji told, he's in the heart. Krishna, it seems, behind us means with our soul, he's there as a super soul. That's the actual meaning. And he sees that, don't worry, I'm there. Whatever happens, I'm there. Just start looking at me. He's there. What I mean to say is that, Prabhuji, when you have that desire to increase your rounds, so that's why you expressed it to him, Jagannath Prabhu, that how I can increase. That means Krishna is there with you, Prabhuji, and he is trying to tell you through this association that, okay, this is the way you can proceed ahead with increasing the number of rounds. So it is not that he's not there. If you are cognizant of his presence, which is a devotee, if you are not cognizant, he leaves to your own destiny and free will, Prabhuji. Do whatever you want to do. Still, I am there with you, but he will be there no matter what. But if you are cognizant, he will definitely help you a lot. Like we say, right? The squeaking wheel gets the noise, other gets the grease. So similarly, we are the try to be squeaking wheel. That's what Maharaj has explained.
true, true. Yeah, this is a
Prabhuji,
classic. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. As one last question, um, some people are basically by nature introverts. So, but in our like what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given is mostly is association of the devotees. So, but nature is introvert, but they have to move with the devotees, right, Prabhuji? So it's been artificial for them, for the introverts to move with more devotees. Like
Yeah, how
how
to
to
address that? Okay.
how to
Yes, yes, Mother. Uh, so introvert and your depth in when Prabhuji mentions association is not he doesn't mean association. Association with devotees is one, but association with service. How do we see it? Srila Prabhupada asked one American devotee to take care of gardening in all the temples. So he started alone being a gardener in one temple. Then he became a gardener, and he was so intensified with his service. He was glued to the service that he moved to another temple. Then the garden sparkled again, and by the time he is of retirement age or the vanaprastha stage, he has gardened, tens and twenties of temples in ISKCON, and he took that service seriously. So when we think about um, association, if our introvert nature, Krishna consciousness has nowhere said you have to be an extrovert. Krishna consciousness is for everyone, and you can bring your intensity of loving Krishna through your service. If you're doing cooking, you alone can cook. If you're doing garlanding, you alone can cook. If Mataji, I know Prabhu's wife, she only does weeks. She probably doesn't do any other service, but she does so meticulously that on Mondays she makes 200, 500 ghee wicks, and during Damodar festival, she does 1,000 sticks, and we all use that. So all the Damodar offerings are done through the intensified service she does, and she pretty much does it alone. So the point is, how do we intensify our relationship through the nature where Krishna welcomes everyone, extrovert, introvert included. But if mixing becomes a impetus or become a hindrance because of the nature, then we have to look at ways how we can serve. We can serve. There are thousands ways we can serve a temple in an intensified manner, Mataji. So um, doesn't have to be an extrovert to be associating with Krishna and Krishna's services. Okay,
so beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very encouraging to me.
definitely.
And also another point, Mataji, try this, Mataji, and you try to interact, and as Prabhu you told, start doing the service and start associating with the activities of the Krishna consciousness in the temple. Your frame of mind will change from introvert to introvert. Introvert means, Mataji, you are reserved. Actually, you try to not interact much. You try to keep to yourself, right? But what happens is that with these activities, you expand your field of activity, Mataji. Naturally, this expansion of the field of activities, as Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita, makes you non-introvert. So you what you're doing by service is that you're expanding your field, Mataji. And that field means your reserved nature is your radius is increasing, Mataji. That's all. And then automatically you get glued into that, means gelled into that.
Yes, Prabhuji, got it.
Mataji, I can give you an instance where I started going to one particular temple a while ago. I didn't know anybody there. And I was thinking to myself that I don't know anybody, what do I do? So at the end of the day, once everything is finished, then I'll start vacuuming the whole place. And so I started doing that, and the other people joined, and slowly, you know, that way I got to know more people there, even though I didn't have to approach them or talk to them anything. And just by looking at you and some other places, what I do is once service is done and everything, then I'll just go and do the dishes along with the other people. And so you can do some of things like this where you don't have to actually interact with people, but once you start doing, there are other people that are doing it, so they'll start interacting with you, and there's a natural curiosity. And so this way you build your confidence. Essentially, you're saying that you're not confident enough to make friends, you're not confident enough to talk to other people, but through different service activities, you slowly start getting into it and getting into the mix of people. And for instance, in our own temple, a lot of times I've seen people around Prabhupada, they'll start cleaning out the flowers and then they'll sweep the floor. And those are some activities where people see you and start interacting with you. And so you don't have to put in the effort. All that effort you're doing is you're doing service effort, and the other people are coming to talk to you. And those are some of the ways you can do things in there.
Basically, you are increasing your sphere of influence, Mataji. That's what Prabhu is. The sphere of influence is where it differentiates from a introvert to a mixed. There is nothing you are just, you have to just increase your. Previously you think you don't know many people, so let's keep quiet, but the more service and interaction you do, you increase your sphere of influence.
Very nice,
Yes,
very nice.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You have any comments, Prabhu?
No,
Prajapati, bro?
thank you, Prabhuji. No comment. I'm hearing all this.
Prabhuji, what is the next Radha Astami?
Yes. Radhastami is in probably
29th, I think.
yeah
29th.
one week's time. Yeah.
Nice.
So Radhastami is the appearance of Srimati Radharani. It will be a
Where it
wonderful.
is? Which date?
Uh,
Date?
I think
31st August,
Sun,
Prabhuji.
Oh, 31st August. Oh, thank you. Adaji.
31st August.
I
We'll
think
send the
Sunday.
flyers.
Sunday, I think.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Sunday, 31st.
Yeah. We'll send the flyers once it is released from in our
Yes,
group and other
yes,
groups
yes.
also. So let's end
And
here.
Bhadra Purnima, what we are doing, Prabhuji?
Bhadra Purnima generally we is the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
So we encourage anyone to take a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. There will be discount as well. And there is no difference between Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna. So people, I mean, devotees take Srimad Bhagavatam and install Srimad Bhagavatam in their altar and do a Bhagavad Yajna or speak about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is something we are encouraging everybody. If you have Srimad Bhagavatam, you can gift someone, or if you don't have, take. And we have Bhagavatam in multiple languages. In your language for yourself, in English language for your kids, because our kids typically, if they can't read the local language we all hail from, so you can definitely have two sets, which I have in my house. So it's definitely is ornamental when I look at it. So it definitely is a good practice to. I know Pratap Prabhu has gifted Srimad Bhagavatam to his brother a couple of years ago during this time. So a lot of things, a lot of these things you can do. Gift someone Srimad Bhagavatam and install Bhagavatam, do some Bhagavad Katha. So those are some of the things you can end up doing in that 1 week of Bhadra Purnima.
Also, in addition, Prabhuji, Mataji, especially small kids, Gauranga Darshan Das Prabhu has a wonderful series for kids on Bhagavatam. So that is also a good way of exposing kids to the Bhagavatam, Mataji. It is in a. I heard he got many awards for those.
Hmm.
For that.
Yes, yes.
And
That's
Gauranga
a
Prabhu
set.
also has a lecture, I think, on I saw on LinkedIn on Bhadra Purnima. Should, if we get a chance, we can listen to that also.
Definitely. Definitely. Very nice. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Prabhu.
So thank you for your engagement. Bhakti Vriksha is all about discussion. It's about discussing. No one is perfect except Krishna, and we have this group to strengthen our bhakti once a week. And whenever there are big festivals, we cancel. But let's all regroup, and thank you for your kind attention and participation. So let's all thank everyone by offering pranam at the lotus feet of all devotees by saying Vancha
Ancha
kalpataruvesha
Kalpataru
kripa
Krupa
sindhubheva
Sindhubheva
patitanam
Patitanam
pavane
Vaishnavesha
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Ki
jai,
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila
Jai
Prabhupada ki
Ki
jai,
Jai
Gaur Premanande.
Hare
Jagannath Prabhu Ki Jai.